Yeah, this is the perfect car for my channel. An old German 5-litre V8 Mercedes SL500. So here we go then, the 1991 Mercedes SL500, proper cool car this is. And do you know what I need to do? How am I even doing this? The clouds look grey, yeah, but trust me, it is mega hot today. I think it's they're saying it's going to be something like 30 degrees, and we've got a convertible in front of us with the roof up. So what we need to do is, that is actually a removable hardtop. There is a soft top hidden in the boot line in there as well, but we'll get the roof off, and one, it's going to look a lot better, and two, when we go for a drive in it shortly, I need to have the roof down. So let's do that now. Right. In order to get the roof down, what we need to do first, guys, is we need to start the engine. The big, juicy V8 engine under the bonnet, by the way, which we will talk about shortly in more detail. Yeah, it's not starting. This is hashtag old car life. Apparently there is a knack to starting this car. Come on, don't let the German side down, man. Oh, I reckon it's got to be immobiliser. It's got to be the immobiliser, isn't it? Key in door.
2 hours later.
No, okay, it's not meant to happen, this ain't. Yeah, so it does actually work, this car, guys. We will get to that part of the video shortly. I think what you're meant to do is you've got to get out the car, ain't you? You've got to get out. And you press the button. It's just locked itself. It's locked now, locked. Remote central locking, by the way, look. It's got everything going for it, this car. Just don't bloody start, does it? Right, so now we'll get inside. Start the engine. As if by magic. Now, I was actually told by the previous owner that sometimes it just doesn't start, so maybe I need to get the key guys come out and look at the key on it. I don't know, but it starts now. Got a bit of petrol in it as well. Let's demonstrate how to get this roof off. So this little button down here, you press and hold this backwards, and then that should pop off. Should. Try it again. There it goes. Now I'm going to call in some Binker volunteers. Tyrone, Shani, come and give me a hand, please, boys. You two can go on that side. We'll get big guns on this side, yeah? Right, to me, to you. So there you go, a Mercedes SL500 with the roof down. Yeah, that was a bit of a must getting that roof down. And like I say, the temperature, if my phone, is the camera going to find the phone? Camera, find phone. There we go, Milton Keynes 26 degrees currently. Don't look like 26 degrees through the camera, but it is proper hot, trust me, very humid. But yeah, the car's actually grey. It almost looks like brown, doesn't it? It looks a bit brown with the sort of two-tone effect. Body works, lighter colour on the bottom, a bit darker at the top. On the interior, we've got black leather interior. But the reason why I really wanted to get this car on the channel is because this is my memory of Mercedes as a kid. They were just such a good, solid, reliable, well-built car. And I do feel, I'm not saying Mercedes have deteriorated since then, they definitely haven't, but the quality of cars back then was so good. And I will highlight a few things as we wander around this car shortly. So yeah, 1991 car. I think they made this particular SL, this is the 4th generation SL, from 1989 till about 1999, I think 10 or so years. So yeah, proper cool car. Obviously being a 1991, this is an earlier car. It has also got a soft top, which I mentioned earlier, and in fact this thing here is like a wind deflector, an electronically operated wind deflector via that button there. I might even show you what that looks like now. There you go, there's the button there. Look at that, look at that. Yeah, it looks pretty, doesn't look good, but it's a good idea. There is actually another wind deflector in the boot of this car, along with a hazard triangle as well. Proper 90s thing that hazard triangle was, but that's also quite cool. So we put that down. Does have seats in the rear, but I don't know, maybe legless people would be able to sit in them seats. There's not even loads of leg room for the driver and the passenger in the front, to be honest. Definitely need to switch that off as well, because SLs are just known for low battery issues, which is probably why we just had issues starting it and why we had issues getting the roof down. There is actually a kill switch in the boot. But even this, look at that button to open the boot. There is an aftermarket kill switch in the boot there, which when you're not using the car, you just flick that off and it kills the power to the battery. Preserves the life of the battery, which is also quite good. So the overall quality, look at even this. Look at the effort they put into this car. So quickly talk about the engine. So it is a 5-litre V8 naturally aspirated petrol engine, produces about 320 horsepower. They do a 280 SL which is a V6, a 320 SL, which is also a V6, the 500 SL, which is obviously this one here, which is a V8, and they do a 600, which is a V12 engine. They were super rare, and we'll talk about values of all these cars shortly. So yeah, naturally aspirated under the bonnet. Let me just quickly show you what it looks like under the bonnet, because for an old car, I think it looks quite modern. I quite like the shape of their mirrors as well, by the way. The wing mirrors look quite, I don't know, do you think they look quite modern for their time? Something else that I thought looked quite modern for the time is the stereo there. Just, I don't know, I just think it looks quite good. Even the controls on the doors for the seats, that's also quite good. And at this point in time, I was just thinking about this just now, at this point in time, I feel like cars had achieved everything by this point, right? And when I say that, I mean, they had everything going for them. From here onwards, they just perfected cars. But this point in time, cars were just really, really good. I sort of know what I mean by that, but I'm having a bit of a tough time trying to explain myself. It's just got it all going for it. Doesn't need any more. Heated seats, power steering, even little things like this. Look at this. They put the lever for the bonnet there. Hydraulic lifters on the bonnet. Is it hydraulic lifters? I don't know, but it's super bouncy, super strong with the springs. Then under the bonnet there's that lovely Vare. Again, personally, I think that looks quite modern for the age of the car. Let me know what you think to that in the comments below. And the fact that it's over 300 brake horsepower, I also think that's quite impressive as well. The weight of that bonnet is unbelievable. Apparently he's done 0-60 in about 6.5 seconds, which is also quite impressive. Is there anything else I want to talk about on the outside of the car? It weighs about 1,800 kilos, so it is a very heavy car. I think something that's worth pointing out with this car is the shape of these rear lights. Like, look at them. They are so 90s, and they look at that, man. So I really like that as a feature. In fact, a few other car manufacturers done something similar. I think maybe a Rover. Did Rover do that? I can't even think off the top of my head, but them lights are very, very cool. I do remember back in the day there was like a Koenig special body kitted version of one of these cars, and that car looked unreal. It kind of had like Testarossa slats down the side of the car. So yeah, that was pretty good. Automatic gearbox, don't know how many gears it's got, probably about 3 or 4, not many, but I think what we need to do, guys, throw a camera in the window, start the engine again, show you what it sounds like with a few revs, and then we're going to go for a little drive, do the usual stuff, see what it drives like, and see what it does 20, 70 mile an hour in comparison to all the other cars on my draggy leaderboard. All right, let's jump in. Oh, and something else we need to talk about is values. Like, what do you think this car's worth? Have a little guess. What do you think that car's worth? Being the SL500, do you think that's probably the expensive one? Yeah, yeah. We'll talk about that as well in a bit. All right. Check me out. I feel like a 90s movie star. Like these cars used to be in so many films back in the day, man. I can't even remember what films, but I'll try and find some examples and put them on the screen now. But what is really odd, yeah, you know, like I've done a Jeep video recently, and as soon as I took the roof off that car, it began raining. Yeah, it's just typical, isn't it? And on that day, there was no forecast of any rain. Nothing was about to happen, and a very similar thing has just happened to me right now, because a raindrop just hit me in my head. Know when you're convinced you feel the first raindrop yourself? I just felt the first raindrop, but I had evidence, proof again. There is nothing on that app telling me that it's gonna rain. This is like the hottest week ever known to man here in England, ever. Apparently this is a record-breaking week, and there is no indication whatsoever that it's going to rain. I get the roof down and I feel a raindrop on my head. So yeah, I want to quickly go back over something I said earlier about Mercedes being a deteriorating brand. Now that kind of came out wrong. I want to go over that again. Back in the day when this car was built, this car, it just feels different, man. The build quality feels different. Sometimes I just felt another raindrop on my head. Sometimes in a negative way, because it feels a bit heavy and sluggish, but on the plus side, everything just feels so solid. Like the dashboard is solid, it's got that little button there, it opens up that little thing there. It just doesn't feel like anything's going to go wrong. Although it didn't start earlier, you kind of got a bit of tolerance for it because of the age of it, yeah. But yeah, they just don't build them like they used to. Sound like your granddad now, don't I? So let's get the engine started quickly before we go through HPI. That's if the engine does start. By the way, it's done 103,000 miles, which I don't think is too bad. It ain't like a low mileage gem, but it ain't too bad for the age of the car, considering it's, what is this, 30 years old? Oh my God, it is 30 years old, 31 to be precise. So let's start the engine, first turn of the key. Come on, show the world you can do this, Mr. Mercedes. I just felt the third raindrop. Look at that, on the button this time. It's obviously getting used to Calvin as a person. So today I am using this wireless mic because last time I've done a video in a convertible, I didn't use it because it's temperamental, I'll be honest with you. But I think You know, just cuts wind noise, all right? So even these switches, it's all very solid. Look, that works, that switch works. So let me quickly put up HPI, because you lot love a little bit of HPI. There's nothing really to report on here. It's very basic, this check, because such an old car, they hold less data, all right? So plate transfer, it's obviously got the private plate on it, which we'll probably retain and keep. It did also come with a set of monoblock alloy wheels. They're like notoriously famous alloy wheels in the German car world. I don't think I'm gonna put them on this car. They don't actually have tyres on them, but I think they need to be sold separately. I quite like the look of it as it is. It just looks original, looks clean, and it is also, I didn't even point out how tidy this car is. The bodywork is it's as if it's had a full respray. It is a really, really clean example. So yeah, the original wheels will stay on the car, and I'll conclude maybe use the mono blocks on another project car at a later date. So 5 registers are clear, which is all good. It's an SL500 auto, which we know. Oh, I've got a little ant. Is it a money spider? It's not a money spider, never mind. Sports, it just says sports at the top there. 9 former keepers, so ain't got a seriously low amount of keepers, which would be nice, but 9's not too bad. It ain't double figures yet. Current keeper since 5th of August 2020, so he's had it a while, and it's first registered on the 12th of November 1991. So if you share the same birthday as the SL, comment below. Happy birthday to you at the same point. The SL is celebrating its birthday. 4.973 litre engine in grade. There's not really much else to report. It's got a tracker on the HPI, which is pretty cool. MOT details, it expires in September 2022. Nothing much to report there at all. Is there anything else I want to talk about whilst we're here? Oh look, the app's just changed to rain. The app has just changed to rain. Can you believe that? Literally just changed. Yeah, I bet if I put the roof up, that'll go back to sunny. Let's now look at Auto Trader. So Auto Trader, this car here, I'll just use this as an example, £10,000. That there is the cheapest non-categorized SL500 available on the net currently. If I go into back into the search filter and just go to all, it will then bring up the smaller engine cars. So we've got an SL320 at the top there. They start about 5 or 6 grand, right? So if you want a 320 in this body shape, the body shapes, they all look the same, whether you get a 500, a 320 or whatever, they all look visually the same. It's just the engine under the bonnet that changes. So personally, you'd want the 500, preferably I suppose you'd want the 600 V12, but there isn't currently any of them available on the net. But like I say, the cheapest SL500 is £10,000. And let's go for a categorised one. Not bad, 7.5 grand there for a categorised one, all right? So that gives you an idea of values. I feel like there's something else I was going to mention on here, but I've forgotten what that is. Got a van pulling up now, which that would happen, wouldn't it? Because that always happens. Bit of dust, just shower me with binker dust. Deliver a parcel right now. The dials, anyway, that's what I was going to talk about, the dials. The dials are quite a nice feature in this car. I want to hit the road, man. I want to see how quickly this does 20 to 70 mile an hour, see how it compares to all of the other cars on the Draggy leaderboard, because there's some pretty cool cars in there. I ain't got a clue off the top of my head which car I want to compare it to, but I did do a video recently on another SL. I'll put the details of that up on the screen right now. It'd be interesting to see if this comes anywhere near that. That's obviously a more modern car, but we'll see. Yeah, let's just hit the road, see what it drives like, see how bad it drives, or good, and do draggy times. Yeah, let's go. You know, instead of doing the usual thing and cutting to the bit where we're on the road, I want to take you on the journey with me to putting this car into reverse or park or drive or whatever I'm about to do, putting the seatbelt on, because that's quite an interesting feature as well. The seatbelt on this car, the clip is different to any other clip I've ever seen in my life, so that's quite interesting. The gearbox or the gear stick, very smooth, very light, a bit like an old Jag. It's really light to select the reverse gear. Does have a sports mode as well by the looks of things, so we will experiment with that shortly. We're going to go backwards a touch. Yeah, just put it in park, give it a little rev quick. Listen to that, man, proper old school V8. So we will now proceed out of binker. We will not flatten the customer, preferably do not flatten the customer. I would not want to get hit by this car like this. This is one car that would hurt, man. This is a brick of a car. And then we're sort of poodling over a few bumps. It's soaking up the bumps nicely. It's flattening them bumps, in fact, because it's like a bloody steamroller. And bit of gas pedal. We do have a little bit of fuel. The key, we did not do a hashtag key check. Do I dare do that right now? Because the car probably won't start again. I'm going to do it. Put it in park. Hashtag key check. There we go, look at that SL500 Auto. It's like a flip key, which I think is quite good. And it does have a button there to lock and unlock the car. Works sometimes as well. So, and it starts, check that out, right. On we go with the journey again. Listen to that. Apparently this is a pre-cat car, so this doesn't actually have a catalytic converter, which is brilliant. This is before the times where everyone just strangled us petrol heads and just refused us of our love for cars in any way they possibly could. So this was back in the days where V8s could freely breathe and freely make noise. Listen to that. Listen to it. We're off. So currently we're in like the eco mode of the gearbox, and by the way, I hope this mic is doing its job perfectly, because if it isn't, I will be very annoyed. I might just, is that legal to do that? Is that all right? Seatbelt is, seatbelt can stay there. I'll just leave it there, yeah. So we're in the eco mode, rev counters, it's all just drama, theatre, it's doing everything as it should, which I don't know why I'm talking about that like it's impressing me. It should all work, shouldn't it? Let me quickly put the wind deflector up, because, you know, check me out, I've got one of them as well. Yo! Put the windows up as well, because that's going to help eliminate any wind noise. Electric windows as well, guys. There is also a switch down here. I don't know if that's like, what is this switch? Let me see. Put that window up. Sorry, I'm soaking all of this in at the same rate you lot are soaking it in, yeah? I am sort of just chilling at the minute, about 15 miles an hour on the road, trying to adjust my seat. Oh my God, it's got lumbar support. I wonder if that was an optional extra. Obviously we don't know from the spec check, because there is no spec check, but the seat is currently doing some weird and wonderful things, which again is so impressive for the age of the car. So the adjustment on the seat here, there is a lot of adjustment, but it's very restricting with leg room. I'm gonna put that out there, because if you are sort of my height, you're gonna struggle. 6'2"-ish, by the way. I need to measure myself and tell you exactly what I am. But yeah, leg room isn't too plentiful, is that even a word? Indicator on, we're gonna go up the bumpy roads. Apparently the passenger is not wearing his seatbelt. That's actually my camera bag that's not wearing his seatbelt. He's fine, Mr. Mercedes. But listen to it, listen to this car, man. It's a beast. Over the bumps, no problem at all. I'm just chilling, like it's like a bloody boat. But what I need to do is put it into sports mode. Has that done anything? It's done nothing. I don't think that's done anything at all. It probably just hangs out the gears for a longer amount of the rev range. Listen to that. It almost sounds turbocharged. It sounds like it's a whoosh. Rear wheel drive as well, by the way, guys. Absolute beast. So let's just quickly cut to the draggy scenes section of the video. It is making a lot of noise, but it ain't doing much. I'll be honest with you, that camera is going to wobble a lot. Convertibles are just a nightmare to film with. Let's just get to a smoother road and do 20 to 70 miles an hour. Right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's go, car. 7.12 to beat. Listen to that. That actually didn't feel too bad at all. So the SL350 done it in 7.12 seconds. Obviously that is pretty much identical in power as well, that car. Let's have a little look and see what this car done it in. Oh my God. 6.76 seconds. This just, guys, this just beat the modern, I don't want to say it's called this the modern version. It ain't the modern version, because that ain't the SL500, but a similarly powered modern SL Mercedes, it's just beat it. Let's do another run. We'll do one more run, see if we can beat that again. 6.76 seconds, all right? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's go! Look how smooth that gearbox is. Listen to the noise. Wow. Oh my God, we beat it. 6.42 seconds. Let's quickly put over and see how that looks on the draggy leaderboard. Do you know what, I pulled over because I kind of feel like I want to soak this in. That's a really good time. Let me just go back to that. 6.42 seconds. That's a really good time. Let me undo that seatbelt quickly. Get it out of the way. So we look at the draggy leaderboard, right? And put the SL500 just there, right? If you look at the two cars that surround this car, the one below it, yeah, as in this done it faster than that, is the Audi S3, the Planet of Dreams car that I gave away recently. Congratulations to the winner, Max from Chroma, by the way. That car there was 330 brake, so a stage 2 tune car with a manual gearbox. That done it in 6.47. And then the car above is a Tesla Model S85. Like, that is impressive. That car's 380 brake horsepower. Teslas don't suffer with any kind of power loss or drivetrain loss at all, really. And this car falls just behind that. That is so bloody impressive. So let me now get back on the road and begin to end this video. So I think the summary for me with this car is I am more than impressed with it. It's over exceeded my expectations. I say it a lot when I get into an old car, and I think we all do. You get in it and you think it's just going to be old and rubbish and not perform very well, not drive very well. This car's done the complete opposite of that. It's solid. It's very well presented. It's a lovely interior. It's a nice place to be. Obviously, it is dated, but everything is doing as it should, almost. And on top of all of that, it is just performed unbelievably well as well. Now, I did sort of expect it wouldn't do. I thought it'd be right near the bottom of the leaderboard, I'll be honest with you. And even the way it delivers power, it does feel a bit long, bit sluggish. I'm not going to lie. It's responding really well, but it don't feel like a super fast car, but it clearly is. It's quite a quick thing. So I think what does help it is the gears are really long. So when you're doing draggy times, there's no gear change there. It just keeps going and going and going, and then you hit your desired speed and you beat half of the leaderboard. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up, leave it as that. The car came in yesterday. I looked at it cleaned in front of me this morning. The boys were getting some photos of it to get it on the net, and I was like, do you know what? That car is clean. I need to do a video on it. So I thought I'd quickly get it on my channel. I've got no idea how well this video will perform. It's in theme for my channel, but at the same time, it's still quite an old car. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, do me a favour, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you're new, and if you're on TikTok, give me a follow on TikTok at Calvin's Car Diary, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.